start as 8:45 for Vene, and definitely going to be a time to keep an eye on for this faster race that's going to be coming up momentarily now. We're running through some of the names in that race. And the top times, which are very strong. Sam Whitaker with an 8:13 is the top time overall. But Carlos Diaz an 8:32, Maxime Ritchie at a 8:32 as well. Sam Whitaker at 8:13, Dominic Palermo at an 8:16, Mark Rodriguez at an 8:43. Billy Coakley at 8:27, Chase Hollenbach at 8:35, Eddie Nicholas at 8:36, Johnny Sokol at an 8:32, Salvatore Mascarelli at an 8:33, Nicholas Davies at an 8:34, Anthony Montevegna at an 8:29, Riley Johnson at an 8:29, and Eddie Christine with an 8:26. There's a look at Eddie Christine in his Sacred Heart, standing next to Anthony Montevegna there or that's Riley Johnson from Stonehill and Anthony Montevegna from Wagner. And this is the one where it's important to keep an eye on splits.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how they want to set the pace and who actually tries to be that pace setter in the early going here.
Seed times range from 8:13 to 8:43 in Section 2 here.
A lot of runners in that high 8:20 to 8:30 range.
On her way. Take a look at who's going to jump out in front in the early moments. Finished up the men's 3K and then the women's 3K. Austin Ernie, Alex Nordstrom, we're glad you've joined us here at the Ocean Breeze Athletic Complex for the Northeast Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships. For Section 2 of the men's final 3,000 meter run. 8:45.8 was the top time in that 3,000 meter run as far as Section 1 is concerned, the slower section, but is that going to be enough to maybe score? That's a question that we'll be awaiting here, even if it's a point or two.
They're coming through at about high 68 to around a 69-second 400, so nothing too crazy so far, pace-wise.
Sammy Whitaker is out in front. Whitaker with the hip number 3, bib number 48 there for CCSU.
Yeah, Whitaker obviously has the fastest time coming in, but he also has an 8:02 PR from last year in the 3K, so he certainly got the chops here to be up front. And Palermo as well, he's only around 8:16, but he's got an 8:09 PR from last year. And they're both 2-3 in cross country, so they're familiar with each other.
Whitaker 1, Palermo to follow. They're switching spots back and forth. Behind the two of them, it is Nicholas Davies, Billy Coakley, Anthony Montevegna. But now two Stonehill runners. Dart to the front, Hollenbach and Davies. Hollenbach, his top time's at 8:35, so that's 20 seconds plus behind where Whitaker is. So we'll see where those times sort of end up stacking up, but
it's a good bet that Sam Whitaker wants to keep this tame, not too fast, because he's got that mile tomorrow as well as possibly the 5K, which he's also entered in.
It's no more, if I finish top 3, it's all good. It's you got to win this race. You got to get your points for your team here, and for a team like CCSU that's looking to make up points on a Wagner team that's got Dominic Palermo up front, this is going to be a close one too, I'd imagine. And even if this is not run at the same pace as some of those earlier events that we've seen throughout the course of the season, because of the points importance, then it still makes a difference.
Yeah, we see Anthony Ventavegna up there in second. He's run 8:29 this season, and he's just another Wagner guy that has been getting it done, scoring points for them at these NEC meets.
Hollenbach remains at first. Hollenbach, Ventavegna. The last split from Ventavegna was much quicker at a 33.8. Sam Whitaker at 33.5.
Yeah, so they went through here at about 2:52, so about 2 seconds off of that first heat, what they came through in 1K. So they're, again, not running too much faster than like the 8:30-ish to 8:40 range.
Two Wagner runners making their move right now. Those were Palermo and Ventavegna. Propel themselves into 1 and 2. Whitaker third. Hollenbach to follow. But now a move from Billy Coakley. And Merrimack finding himself in the top 4.
Yeah, Coakley, the senior, he's run 8:27, and he was 4th in this race last year. So he's on the cusp of that medal again.
Johnny Sokol into the top 5 as well.
You got to start thinking, too, about who's got a kick. I mean, based on what we're talking about with Coach Stacy, Palermo has been running pretty well. He just had that 800 race that Coach said was really solid for him. So he certainly can turn it on there at the end.
Still, it's the two runners from Wagner up front. That's Dominic Palermo, number 4, and number 12, Anthony Ventavegna.
And we got Sal Mascarelli, Whitaker's teammate, shadow him right there, and it's good to have your teammates up there. I mean, you can see Wagner, so it always helps.
It was Riley Johnson from Stonehill hanging back for quite a while, but he's now made his move. Palermo 1, followed by Riley Johnson in second.
So they hit 2K in 5:41, so the pace is certainly picking up. They're running more 33s, 34s.
Johnson pushing that pace, forcing Palermo to speed up a little bit.
Whitaker's covering that move, getting right on Palermo's back here with just a couple to go. Ventavegna to follow suit, and there goes Mascarelli.
And there's the move from Whitaker. Whitaker makes the move with about 600 to go.
Palermo's right there, though. He's not letting him go too far.
No, he's not. The difference in seed time is 3 seconds, so it's negligible at best. And on a given day, Palermo could definitely beat Whitaker. So I wouldn't put this out of the question by any means.
That battle for third is going to be good, too, with those two Wagner athletes as well as Mascarelli from CCSU.
This is big from a point-scoring perspective as well.
Yep.
An opportunity for CCSU to establish themselves on that scoreboard on the men's side.
Now Whitaker's getting a couple steps on Palermo.
A Wagner team that has already put themselves in a very good position, scoring-wise, to potentially add quite a few additional points. But here's Whitaker.
I have one to go here.
He's opened up some space here going into the bell lap at 7:50. We'll see what that final lap will be. It's not going to be any sort of a PR time here, but it certainly could be. It certainly could be a very strong time here into the finish. But Whitaker strolls into the finish here with a first place at an 8:18. Oh, I beg your pardon. Here he is coming through the final loop. He has won an 8:20 and a half. Palermo 8:25. Maxime Ritchie 8:27. Ventavegna 8:28. Riley Johnson 8:30. Don Carlos Diaz 8:32. Billy Coakley 8:32. Salvador Mascarelli at 8:33. Chase Hollenbach at 8:34. Nick Davies at 8:36. Johnny Sokol at 8:40. Mark Rodriguez 8:43. Eddie Tristine 8:46. To wrap everything up, and it does not appear as though any of the Section 1 times are going to actually score here. Well, we talked about Whitaker putting up the number 1. Wins the Northeast Conference 3,000 meters. 8:20 the winning time for Whitaker and Palermo at an 8:25.
Yeah, kind of going to plan. I really was thinking about going around the 800, 600 mark. Just letting to see whoever took it. I just, dropped behind him. And I made my move right at 600.
Yeah, so a little bit earlier you raced Don Palermo, and he got you in that mile. How did that kind of play into what you were thinking going into that race?
Yeah, he's got a great kick, so, you always got to watch out for that. That's kind of why I decided to opt for a little longer move, kind of take out those variables.
Was there any kind of team plan going into that? Because you had a couple of your teammates in there?
Kind of not to, take it out myself. That would kind of harm my teammates if it was a blazing pace right off the gate. So kind of just stayed in the race to, see what they could do.
So you got a couple more events. The mile first next tomorrow. Anything you're thinking going into that one?
Just focus on the mile right now, yeah. It's going to be a good battle. Me, Jake, and Dom. Hopefully me and Jake don't kill each other in it. That wouldn't be very good.
All right, well, that's Sam Whitaker. Just took the win in the 3K. We'll see him tomorrow in the mile. Good job, Sam.
Thanks.